You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports, we connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me within every market. There are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. And first timer on Ron Siegel Radio, Cynthia Ng is with us from Keller Williams. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I already told you that, but again, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. What are we celebrating today? I'm looking at the celebrations and I'm wondering about, Josh, can we got today's National Scribble Day, or I thought it was said Scrabble. Is ChatGPT good for that? I'm starting to get into that ChatGPT now. It's
nice.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it simplifies so many things.
I just, I heard that there's that people can tell if it's written by ChatGPT. I must not be too swift because I don't see it, but hey, something, it's there.
Yeah.
National Joe Day, International Medical Science Liaison Day. Don't tell me that's Fauci.
It is what it is.
I'm the first to admit, when it comes to science, I have no clue. That's just not my forte. Yes, I did get 3 degrees at Chapman College. It wasn't even a university back then. And science was a prerequisite to graduate. So, I spent all my time in the School of Business. It's just the way I was. Just love that. That was my passion. But I needed these science courses, and they said to me, you have some options. So at Chapman College back then, one of the classes was, you'll love it, you got to remember this was in the early 80s, the science of resort living. Huh. So it was a 1-unit course, and you went and studied in Palm Springs, and you studied I guess you went up to the top of the hill there, horseback riding, tennis playing, resort lifestyles was that science. Now, I grew up in a day where my dad was a very, very strong individual. We had a Democratic household. As long as I voted however he said it was Democratic. Other than that, what he said went. That was not one of the options. So at Chapman, they said, well, you can do a real science or a Mickey Mouse science. And I said, Disney all the way. So I think I ended up with geology of national parks. Science was not my cup of tea. But I have learned to beat anorexia. So today is also National Spanish Paella Day. So we're going to go with Spanish paella. Although, I don't know, Josh, that paella doesn't look like it's ultra fattening. It might even be some health to put a little... Let's see. I see some shrimp in there, and it looks like there's some calamari in there. Where's a good place to get Spanish paella? I don't know. I'll have to find someplace. I'll be looking. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 169 points. The S&P 500 is up 2.95. The NASDAQ is down 78. Oil is up $2 a barrel. We should be filling our strategic petroleum reserve if the president was, honest with us and told us under 80 he'd be buying oil. I don't know if that was a prediction though. Was that financial advice that he was buying oil under 80? So we should. I don't know. I don't give financial advice on Ron Siegel Radio. 10-year Treasury right now is at 3.489. That's up 11 basis points. We'll talk a little bit about that in the mortgage minute. So we're going to continue on that. Should we take a look, being that we've talked about oil prices, and think about this. Oil right now, again, $71.25 a barrel. Let's run around the table and see what gas prices are doing, because I don't think my gas prices dropped at all this weekend when I went to visit the gas station. Yes, I do go to Costco. California, $4.82 a gallon on average. Josh, you're at $4.22, so you haven't come down hardly at all either. Jody, $4.20. What's going on? Jody's at $4.22 a gallon also, $4.23 a gallon. They're never the same as you, Josh, over there in Arizona. Brittany's at $3.60. That makes sense. Colorado. And, of course, in the United States, Lori's paying $3.08 a gallon. That would be Louisiana, although there might not be she's our tremendous underwriter. I love Lori. $3.08 a gallon for gasoline over there. Now, I'm going to have to do some field research. I'm going to have to go to Hawaii and check this out. They're at $4.80 a gallon in Hawaii. National average, $3.44 a gallon of gasoline. $3.44, and California is at $4.82. You gotta love California, don't you? We got a good climate. Although this year, there's been some places that haven't had as much rain as us. So I guess we're gonna have some more bad weather coming up. There might be some other fun stuff coming up as we look at the markets. So here's the issues if you're watching the markets right now. I told you May 10th. I have to circle that date on your calendar. We've been talking about that. I actually started telling you May 10th back in January. I think we've got that date written down, don't we, Josh? That May 10th, we said that's when inflation will start coming down. Or at least that's when the government is going to tell you inflation is coming down, because if you're a regular listener to Ron Siegel Radio, you know that it's already down based on looking at exactly what's happening now and not looking at 6-month-old data. So here's the issue. What's going to happen then? Now, here's the other part of this. So I've told you that part. What's going on with the banks? Well, with the banks having all these failures, I'm starting to see a lot of leading indicators that are not the ones that we see in the public, that are actually showing us that, the Federal Reserve, no matter what Jerome Powell has to say, they're going to have to start pivoting and dropping interest rates. What does that mean for you? Well, it's not going to go down far enough to where it's going to spur a big refinance boom. But those of you that have a lot of debt, because I know that we're living on credit cards right now, your blended household interest rate is going to be something you're going to want to be looking at. And I know most people don't understand blended household interest rate, just like I don't understand a periodic table, right? That's not my cup of tea. I have no clue. I think AG means agriculture, but it might be gold. I don't know. But here's the issue. When it looks for a blended household interest rate, if you're living on your credit cards, there might be opportunities in there. I just had a consultation over the weekend about somebody looking at buying a $1.2 million house and putting $700,000 down. Not a good idea. Why? Because it's not a round number. Ron, it's $700,000. How much rounder do you want to get? Well, I'm pretty round, and I understand round. So here's the issue. There is no price break on a home loan at 41.2%. You want to go at 40% down or 50% down. Use the other money more strategically, or go to rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. And we actually found a way using the Home Select product, which I'll tell you this, strategy beats rate always. But if you go to rsrhomeselect.com, you're going to actually see a strategy there. And the one that I worked on with this family over the weekend How about 3.61 as an effective interest rate on a 30-year loan? 3.61 on an effective interest rate. Think about that concept. So a lot of people call it, and the way this conversation started was, hey, Ron, what would the rate be for my son doing this? Because we've helped the family many, many times. Bad question. What would my rate be? Because it can be almost anything. What do you want it to be? Right? In that situation, 5 to 7.5 was the answer. Unless you go strategically and then the interest rate is 8, but the effective rate is 3.6. Try and figure that one out without understanding. RSRHomeselect.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we've got the Mortgage Minute for you. Get ready. The best time to list your house is almost here. And we might even get into a Your Credit Matters segment. Many young adults don't understand credit. RSRmoney.com. RSRmoney.com. We educate you. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial when you're ready for that next home loan. Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, and every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Let's take a look. What did the loans lock at on Friday? Obviously, as I've told you before, OBMMI, they provide us interest rates only. We do not know what the APR is, how many points were paid or received. 30-year conforming loan, 6.297. That was down a little bit. The 30-year jumbo loan, 6.612, down a little bit. 30-year FHA loan, 6.186. That was down a little bit. 30-year USDA loan, that was out. That's for those out in the rural areas, generally no down payment. That was up just a fraction. And the best loan on the market for those that earned it. You cannot just apply. You need to have a golden ticket for this one. This would be the 30-year VA loan. That was down pretty nice. That was 5.778. Love that when our VA loans go down. And then again, down below 5.778 on the VA loan as of Friday. As I've mentioned before, just to throw this in there, we are in the process of doing a whole series for our veterans because for some reason the VA doesn't do a very good job and the Department of Defense doesn't do a very good job of alerting our veterans as to what their benefit is in housing. The VA loan, we're doing this whole series on it. It's going to be like a 50-week process on some of the VA benefits, including the VA home loan. So if you want to get in on that, RJ at RonSiegelRadio.com, RJ at RonSiegelRadio.com. Let's take a look further. 10-year Treasury up 12 basis points right now at 3.50 flat. The S&P 500 is up 2.59. Mortgage-backed securities are down 36 basis points. Ow! That means interest rates are up today. There is a disconnect between the 10-year Treasury and the mortgage-backed securities. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
So let's take a look and see why these things are happening. What's going on? Well, once again, we are dealing with idiots.
Such an idiot. Such an idiot. Such an idiot.
So I'm not sure which is worse, Jerome Powell or Janet Yellen. But this goes back to 1996. And Alan Greenspan, much brighter than either of these two individuals, they were worrying about inflation at the time, back in 1996. And during one of their Federal Open Market Committee meetings, Mr. Greenspan said the Fed's goal was price stability. We're wondering, where did we come up with this arbitrary number of 2% inflation? Well, it came back to price stability is what Mr. Greenspan was urging at the time. And in that crucial 1996 meeting, a distinguished economist and Fed official, would you like to know who that Fed official was? Janet Yellen. Now the Treasury Secretary, and before that, a Fed chair herself. She pressed Mr. Greenspan to put a number on his estimate of price stability. And his comment was 0. That was the proper target if inflation was correctly measured. But it's difficult to measure inflation accurately, as everyone in the room acknowledged. So Ms. Yellen said, improperly measured. I believe that heading toward 2% inflation would be a good idea and that we should do so in a slow fashion, looking at what happens along the way. Really looking at what happens along the way. Other Fed members agreed, and the 2% target became enshrined in Fed policy, then only in a clandestine way. Mr. Greenspan did not want his hands tied, and he said, I quote, I will tell you that if the 2% inflation figure gets out of this room, it's going to create problems, more problems for us than I think any of you might anticipate, unquote. Does that surprise anybody that that was the commentary in 1996? Look where we are today. So that inflation number is the problem, and we'll see what happens. And as I mentioned earlier, now we got the Thirst Citizens Bank bought the assets of Silicon Valley Bank. For those of you that remember, does anybody remember Wells Fargo, Wachovia, and World Savings? Yeah, I think we saw some of these things happening back then also. They bought the assets for roughly an 18% discount. Okay, that's private industry. But guess what? How much does the Fed hold of these same instruments that were just discounted by 18%? And what impact is that going to have going forward? That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And now it's time. Get to chat with our featured guest today. Cynthia Ng is with us. Got all these letters after her name, and they're not words. CPRES, SFR. What's that? Single family resident?
No, short sale and foreclosure. And then I'm a certified probate
Wow.
specialist. Yes.
So people are dying to talk to you.
They are.
Okay.
The friends and family of the dying.
The friends and family of the deceased will be calling Cynthia.
Yes.
So where do you see the market going right now? I mean, obviously you've got a great niche there because people are always dying regardless of what happens in the economy.
Well, that's not all I do.
Oh,
that's
okay.
just one little
Just part
segment.
of it.
That's just part
Okay.
of it. But I mean, gosh, like we've never worked through a pandemic before, right? So I do take a lot of guidance from NAR, the National Association of Realtors, and CAR, the California Association of Realtors. And I mean, our market is still going to be going strong. Interest rates will still stay low. There's going to be still low inventory, but the reality is people always need to buy and sell. There's just less people buying and selling right now, right?
Sure.
I mean, people are always going to pass away and have to unload. The family's going to have to unload a home.
One of my 6Ds. Right.
Go.
So, and I don't know if you've heard me talk about this.
Yeah.
Some people do. Some people don't listen to me. But we've got diplomas, diamonds, diapers, divorce.
Yes, divorce, family changes, diapers.
Now I don't even remember them. Divorce, default, and death.
There you go.
All 60s. So you get the last two.
I get the last two. Yeah. But there's
Okay.
always people that need to buy or sell. It's just a smaller amount. We got tighter guidelines, tighter guidelines. So low inventory, but we're still predicting that the market is going to be strong. It's still a great place to put your money.
So let's define that a little bit.
Okay.
So the market. Where are you referring to? What areas do you focus on geographically?
So it depends. I work almost exclusively off referrals. So
Okay.
if I have someone refer me a deal in Hesperia, I drive up to Hesperia. I just closed a couple deals in San Diego, Inland Empire, Chino Hills, Riverside, Pomona. But I also go out to Costa Mesa, Walnut, Baldwin Hills. So if I have a referral, I jump in the car and I go.
Okay.
I listen to a lot of audibles. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
I love Audible because I can't read.
There you
So, well, I mean, I'm the world's worst reader, so I fall asleep after page 1.
Oh
so.
yeah, I need to hear it.
Right.
Yeah. I
So you're going all over. So in all those areas that you're talking about, you're seeing that the market is strong.
I am. I just got into escrow on an investment property in Rosamond, and it was
Where's Rosamond?
Rosamond is near Lancaster.
Okay.
Hour and 40 minutes to get there. But we went over asking. All of my seller's closing costs were paid. We just went to escrow in Covina. It went over asking. So I'm still getting a lot of
Now
offers.
you're working with the buyer or with the seller?
So on both of those, I'm actually representing both sides, but they were
Okay.
listings to start.
Okay. So you kind of you had input into the pricing, so it wasn't as though it was priced way under market, knowing that it was going to sell over.
No, I always try to price competitively right out the gate so we can get more traction,
Okay.
kind of moving forward. But I mean, I'm not seeing as many offers as I did mid-pandemic, but I'm still seeing that there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of buyers out there.
Okay, well that's good because I've had some folks say, well, the market is way down in my area. I haven't seen too many of those areas, and obviously some people listen to CNBC and Diana Olick, and as you know, the next time Diana Olick gets something right on real estate, it will also be the first time. But she was made a comment last week that, real estate's dropping 10%. And that was really, she didn't explain that was the mean price, not the average price or median price.
Right.
And so that only just means the mix is changing.
Right. And I think it's important that you're looking at your specific neighborhood.
Right. That's why I was asking you where you're talking.
It's case by case. Yeah. So I try to avoid any broad statements as far as CNBC and all that, because it doesn't always apply to different areas.
Well, we just like to correct the record, right? So, she was correct that the mean price was changing, but that doesn't mean anything about 123 Main Street.
Right.
Right. That street, I say, I'm a big fan of the FHFA pricing, just because, they're dealing with all conforming size loans. So, in the Inland Empire, you're dealing with a $700,000 loan amount. In Orange County, you're dealing with $1 million loan amount. I'm just using rough numbers. Don't hold me to them, right? But those are rough numbers, so it's more meaningful because you're comparing apples and apples, right? So, and you're dealing with all of those because you're running all over the place.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Okay, so
my car has a lot of miles.
Hope you have one of those electric cars. That way you can get in the carpool lane.
Well, we're on a wait list for a Genesis, for the electric Genesis. I think it's May.
Oh, really?
I think they keep pushing it back, but so far it's May. So
those are nice looking cars.
Oh, yeah, and it has a lot of trunk space if you get the bigger size. So yeah.
That SUV looks just like the Bentley SUV.
Well,
although we don't get paid to broadcast or to promote Genesis cars, we talk real estate on Ron Siegel Radio. You're listening.
There you go.
You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, get ready. The best time to list your house is almost here. We'll talk about it. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Get ready. If you're thinking about buying a house, rsrmoney.com. That's where you want to go and get some great information. I love it because it's a combination of all sorts of sites. So you've got budgeting in there, you've got credit education in there, you've got planning for your down payment is in there. And oh, by the way, 97% of the homes available for sale in the entire United States are showing in there. So you can actually take a look at that. And if you want to know valuations of your property, 4 different valuations are in there. You can get the wrong one that Zillow puts out. It'll be in there for you. So you don't even have to go to their website to get the bad information. You can look at 2 others, and then you can look at Quantarium, I think is the name of it, which is actually, from what I'm told, the one that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will allow to be used for, or that's where they reference when they're looking at their property inspection waivers. So all that's in there, and guess how much it'll cost you? It's a gift from your friends at Ron Siegel Radio. So go in there, rsrmoney.com. Get ready. Best time to list your house is almost here. If you're thinking about selling this spring, it's time to get moving. The best week to list your house is fast approaching. Experts at Realtor.com looked at seasonal trends from recent years, excluding 2020 as an uncharacteristic year due to the onset of the pandemic, and determined the ideal week to list your house is the ideal week to list a house this year. Quote, home sellers on the fence waiting for that perfect moment to sell should start preparations because the best time to list a home in 2023 is approaching quickly. The week of April 16th to 22 is expected to have the ideal balance of housing market conditions that favor home sellers more so than any other week in the year, unquote. If you've been waiting for the best time to sell, this is your chance. But remember, before you put your house on the market, you've got to get it ready. And if you haven't started that process yet, you'll need to move quickly. Here's what you should keep in mind. Work with an agent to determine which updates to make. Start by prioritizing which updates you'll make. In February, Realtor.com asked more than 1,200 recent and potential home sellers what updates they ended up making to their house before listing. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a chart showing this. Which updates did you make? Landscaping, 13%. Touch-up paint, 12%. Full painting of interior, 12%. Full painting of the exterior, 12%. Replacing appliances, kitchen or laundry, 11%. Replacing the roof, 9%. Replacing major systems like hot water or air conditioning, 8%. Replacing grout, 6%. Caulking, 6%. If you want to do those things and you don't want it and you're selling and you don't want them out of pocket, give me a call. We've got a great financing option for you. Give me a call at 800-306-1990. I don't do it, but I'll put you in touch with the right people. As you can see, the most common answers included landscaping and painting. Work with a trusted real estate professional to determine what projects make the most sense for your goals and local market. If possible, plan to have your house staged. Once you've made any necessary repairs and updates to your house, consider having it staged according to the National Association of Realtors. 82% of buyers' agents said staging a home made it easier for a buyer to visualize the property as a future home. Additionally, almost half of buyers' agents said home staging had an effect on most buyers' view of the home in general. Homes that are staged typically sell faster and for a higher price because they help potential buyers more easily picture their new life in the house. And there's people like me who have absolutely no vision. Although I don't get a vote anyway. My wife makes those decisions. Bottom line, are you ready to sell this spring? Give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or borrow on real estate, can I count on you to introduce them to me? That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment. Again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Get started on shopping now. So your thoughts? Any thoughts on those concepts from that Real-Time Real Estate as far as staging? Do you do a lot of staging?
I do. And it depends. It depends on the neighborhood.
Okay.
Because there's insurance and things that come with staging, right? Sometimes it gets more expensive in different neighborhoods.
Okay, explain that to me, because that's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah. So when you stage a home, you have to have a special kind of insurance. So if something happens to the furniture, the staging, anything that's there, it can be covered and taken care of. It can make the price go up.
Wow.
So the cost of staging can get more and more expensive. So it kind of depends.
Who pays that? Does the homeowner pay that? Does the stager pay it?
So the homeowner will work it into one of the fees for the home, or some agents will work it into their marketing budget. So I work it into my marketing budget.
Okay.
So depending on the home, I'll either stage it or I'll virtually stage it and print those pictures up big and put it on an easel in each room. So as the buyers are coming in, they can see the potential for the room. And for those that, don't need all that, need a blank canvas, they have the blank canvas. And for those that need to actually visually see something, they can see it. But I do disclose this home has been virtually staged. So agents know before they get in there, okay, the home was virtually staged. We're not going to see it fully staged when we walk in.
So what does that mean? So when you fully disclose, so does that mean for your photos of the property, that's where the virtual staging is?
Right. Right. And then I do a picture of it staged and a picture of it not staged, so they can see both views. Then when they walk into the home, on an easel, they'll actually see a picture of the home staged in the blank room.
So what am I going to find when I go to RSR Money or RSR Home Scout, which basically pulls the pictures from the MLS, the multiple listings?
You're going to see both.
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get. I like that. That way you're not deceiving anybody.
Yeah.
By having that, because again, people like me, I have no vision. Right. I mean, somebody said that you can make this wall look like blue. And I'm okay. I don't know what that means. Right. I mean, there's 72 shades of blue.
I was going to say, what shade of blue are you going to put
exactly.
there? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have no clue where we're going with that. So I don't know what that means. So, or there's plenty of room here. What does plenty of room mean?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, does that mean I can put I need a big couch. I'm a big guy. So, I mean, I get two things in my house. I get to pay the bill.
Okay.
And I told my wife, you can do whatever you want as long as I can put my foot up on the furniture.
There you go.
Right. I mean, I don't care, but I have no vision. So, okay. So a lot of that's going on. So what's been your experience? Is there really a specific week of the year that I have to be ready to list my house?
Well, I mean, I think your lifestyle is going to determine when you need to list, right?
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure when you look at graphs and numbers, there is a good week. I mean, they obviously found it in that article, but I think reality is it's what your life is telling you is really going to be your best time to list. I find that most people like to list or purchase if they have a family before their kids need to enroll in school. Because they want their home to be established. They want the kids to be registered in the new school district, not changing school years. But along with that comes with a lot of schools are starting at different times now. So it kind of goes, depending on where you're moving to really, or, what your kids'
you've
school
got an
district is.
interesting comment there because you said before they enroll in school.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to know all of those different, what the enrollment dates are.
Mm-hmm.
Because the enrollment dates are not necessarily the same as when school starts. I mean, I can go online.
Right.
I guess I could probably go online to find out the enrollment dates.
They can. Well, a lot of times when we're having that buyer's consultation, if we see that that's one of the things they're looking at, we'll just pull up the school district right
You got to back up because I'm a simple guy.
Okay.
Buyer's consultation. Explain that a little bit to me.
So
what are we doing there?
We have someone come in, call from a sign, a referral. They want to buy a home. We sit down in front of them. We go through the buyer's process or the buying process. Even if they've purchased before, because I don't know if that other agent did a good job representing them.
Sure.
So we like to sit across from them, really go through the process, answer their questions, do some searches right on the spot. You know, some people think, oh, you know, I want to live in this area, but I don't want to pay more than this amount. You pull the homes up in that amount and they're like, well, I don't want to live in that home.
Right.
So we start looking at different areas. During that time, we'll find out if they're wanting to enroll kids in school. So right then we just look to see what the enrollment dates are. So we can try to hit that timeline that they're going to need.
And obviously we you know, you love that concept because when you're going through that, we just did this on the radio the other day. We had this conversation that, you know, if you're, what's the most expensive home you've sold? Just off the top, I mean, ballpark.
2.1.
Okay, 2.1 million. What's the cheapest one you've sold?
180,000.
Okay, so anywhere now, if I have 180,000, if I went with you to look at that 2.1, which is nicer?
Well, the 2.1.
Sure, right? The 2.1 is always gonna be nicer.
Yeah.
But the problem is now if I go and start looking at my budget, which is not 2.1,
Yes.
everything becomes inferior to that.
Disappointment reigns.
Right.
Yeah, we want to
It's still my
manage
castle.
disappointment. Yeah.
It's still my castle.
Yes.
Right. So we want to make sure that people are going and looking at something that fits their budget.
Exactly.
And obviously we got a program for that. Right. You can expand your budget. Go to rsrbuydown.com, rsrbuydown.com, and you can actually see how you can expand your budget by, you know, just looking at various numbers and you know, maybe you can't go from a $200,000 budget to $2 million budget.
I mean, that's pretty big.
Right. You might be able to go from a $600,000 budget to a $700,000 budget because the most important number in all of the real estate transaction is the interest rate.
Right.
The smallest number is the most most important one.
Yes.
Right. So the consultation, you're going in there and discussing needs, wants.
Needs, wants, family needs, if they're going to have parents living with them, what their long-term goals are. Is this a 2-year investment, a 5-year investment? Is this their forever home? All of that gets put on the table right at that moment. So we know.
I love that concept though of doing all of that up front. And, you know, and the other part that you said that I really like as well, because my line is basically, I don't know where you are in the education process of this, but so pardon me in advance if I'm speaking to above where you already know.
Yeah.
Right. Because you exactly what you said. You don't want to say that, you know, the other agent's an idiot and they don't know what the heck they're talking about.
But I make that assumption. Well, the other agent probably didn't tell you all this. So
and it could have been, you know, that which we were doing in although you may be too young for this. In 1983, what we were doing back then, you know, may not be the same thing we're doing today.
Right.
Which I can say that because I helped the first family I helped was in 1983 get a loan. So, you know, I'm old. So, you know, the concept right there is basically that, you know, some of the things have changed.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think the National Association of Realtors now says that we buy a new house every 13 years. Right? 13 years ago, that if my math is correct, that was about 2010. Things were a little different in 2010 than they are today.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Sure.
You're that's probably when you got your short sale certification, right? Because that was what everything was right back then, right?
I was actually in lending back then.
Okay,
yeah.
So yeah, well, there was a whole lot to be lending on back then.
There's a reason why I made a switch.
Yeah, I can understand that. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, more with Cynthia Ng and Josh. You won't believe it, but I don't think we're going to make Your Credit Matters segment today. But that's, you know, hey, I get to talk about that anyway. I'm the host. You reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. This segment being brought to you by the Certified Divorce Lending Professionals. Yes, I am one. I had to go through that certification. I had to do something during COVID, so I went and got Certified Divorce Lending Professional and Veteran Mortgage Advisor and Certified Mortgage Advisor and all these different letters you can put after your last name that nobody cares about unless you need us, right? So when you're looking, if you're thinking about getting divorced, well, mydymworkbook.com, mydymworkbook.com. It organizes all of your real property, mydymworkbook.com. You fill it out, send it back to us. No obligation, no cost. We'll send you back a whole program on what you need to know about real property when it comes to divorce. So it is one of those 6 Ds. And no, you don't get to select the week of the 16th to put your house up for sale if you're going through divorce. But this segment is being brought to you by mycdlp.com, mycdlp.com. Continuing our conversation, Cynthia Ng is with us. She's got a bunch of letters after her name too. So tell me I know we have the probate specialist.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a short sale foreclosure.
So are we coming up on that? Do you think there's going to be a lot of short sales and foreclosures coming to the market?
I don't think so. I think people were hoping for that, but I mean, lending guidelines are so tight right now.
Right.
I don't think that we're going to see it.
There's a lot of equity out there.
There is, yeah. So I don't think we're going to see that coming up. And then I'm also a senior relocation specialist. Those cards were printed before I got that certification.
Senior relocation specialist.
I love working with seniors, and so it's a perfect tie-in with everything else.
And you know something? that's probably a recipe for the most success in anything we do in life. Right? If you get to work with the people you really, really enjoy working with, right? I went and got not that I enjoy working with divorcing couples. I mean, I'm almost next week next week, I think it is. I'm 36 years into a life sentence.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you. But so I know about divorce. I'm not a first-hander, but I love working with veterans too. So, you get to, and first-time home buyers. That's one of although you guys are on the real estate side, you get the more fun part of working with first-timers.
Yeah.
Handing them the keys to their first home has got to be a real highlight.
Oh yeah. It's like the best part. Even if you've gone through a little bit of like peaks and valleys to get there.
Sure.
Once you get there, it's really great.
I'm told it's like delivering a baby. Right.
Okay. For someone who's birthed 3 babies, I don't know if that's exactly right.
Well, the analogy that I'll use is that I hear the rumor is that, there's a lot of work to it. And once they put the baby in your arms, you forget about all the anguish that you went through. I don't know.
Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yes.
I'm the first to say that there is a real good reason for centuries that dad stayed in the waiting room. I don't know about all this Lamaze stuff or, there was a reason. I mean, my wife, that's probably, I'm not going to go there, but especially because sometimes she listens, not often, but every once in a while she listens to this.
Don't make us send this to her.
Okay. Now I got leverage on me. I guess Cynthia's going to be the regular host here from now on. So do you see much in the way of changes coming forward? Or are we just going to be, it's going to be the regular business as usual?
I mean, I think just talking to other agents, I do some coaching within my office, and I know that this first quarter has been tough on a lot of agents. But I think as people start to realize that these interest rates really aren't high. I mean, when you think about mid-pandemic, it seems high to them, but I think it's becoming the norm. They're realizing this isn't high. I think when I bought my first house, it was at like 12%. So to me, this doesn't.
You had to
seem
be
crazy.
in what, the 80s?
Yeah, this doesn't
90s?
seem crazy. Yeah. So
mine was 18, so I can understand that.
Yeah, and so I see this, 7, 6 floating, and I think, oh, this is still a really good interest rate. So I think that's starting to become the norm. So I think it's going to be business as usual. NAR, the National Association of Realtors, they're predicting it's going to be a strong year. I've never worked after a pandemic, so I'm going off of their
Okay,
leverage.
so I was going to say, if you have, you're really looking good, because I think the last one was in the 1920s or something like that.
No,
or
I'm almost 50. That wasn't me.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're working that one, that's a whole different story.
There you go. But no, I think we're going to see business as usual, and agents are going to have to go back to working hard. It's not going to be easy. They have to go back to basics and do great customer service.
Well, and so again, I'm not politically correct. On the agent side and the lender side, I think and hope there's going to be a lot of washout, because the people that really understand how to do their job the right way, instead of, I put a sign up and I don't know what a price reduction is, and
Yeah.
I don't know how to do a competitive market analysis or a comparative or a broker price opinion. I don't know how, or I didn't go and get certified in the continuing education. I went and did that stupid class that no one ever uses anything to get licensed.
Yeah.
Right? You ended up going and getting extra education.
Yeah.
Or like you said, you do coaching. I think you told me that you're in coaching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Because you need to enhance your skills always.
Always. I mean, and especially because, the real estate market does change.
Right.
But if you have the basics, it's easy to change with what's going on. You have to have coaching for that.
Well, and I'm a big believer that, I don't want to go to somebody that just passed their exam to do cardiology and have them do a heart surgery on me.
Yes.
Right?
It's so right.
So, and cardiology, in my opinion, is probably a pretty important part of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, real estate is a pretty important part of your your financial life.
Right.
Right. So I want somebody that knows what they're doing.
It's a big investment. It's a lot of money. Yeah.
Of course, your experience, so you've probably never had any roadblocks or hiccups in a transaction.
Never.
Right? So, good friend of the radio program, Linda Eisenman, comes on. I think she's in her 45th year, 46th year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always hiccups,
Mm-hmm.
but experience helps you navigate those.
Yes.
Right? And I'm going to guess in a coaching program, you probably have access to others if it's something that's really out there that you've never seen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. And even as newer agents, you can tell when they're going to be successful and kind of gauge how the market is and do really well because they'll get a coach. Because when they reach those issues, they then say, now what do I do? They're just not trying to bulldoze through it and hope they have the right answer. And
Yeah, hope is not really what we want in the transaction.
Ever.
Right? That's not the right answer.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so tell me, I got about a half a minute until Josh kicks me off.
Okay.
Also, you're involved with the Alzheimer's organization.
I am. I'm a community support partner for the Alzheimer's Association.
What's that mean?
That means they send me out to do different speaking engagements. I'm an advocate. I really talk about the Alzheimer's Association all the time. It's included in my buyers and sellers consultations. So I go out and speak. If someone needs someone to speak to 5 people at a church or 250 people at a dinner, they've trained me to stand
Big
up
dinner.
there. It's a big dinner, yeah. And then I do a community support group out of the Pomona area. So they can come, caretakers can come, family, get the support they need to really navigate what's going on.
Love that. I mean, I've talked about Alzheimer's many, many times on the broadcast. I have firsthand experience, not that I've got Alzheimer's yet, but, going through that with my dad and understanding what the family life is with
difficult.
somebody that's going through that. So great. Appreciate that you do that. I mean, that's a real big benefit to the community and to those families that hopefully you're not too proud to say I need help.
Right.
Right. That's the big issue right there, because there's been somebody that's walked down that path before you. And if you're not too proud to say I could use help, get it. Go to one of your is it on your website where we can find more information on that?
It is, yeah. And my social media, it's plastered everywhere. So yeah.
Okay, so look for Cynthia Ng on all the social channels. She's plastered everywhere.
There I am.
Appreciate you coming in. We'll have to do this again
I
because
appreciate being here.
we didn't get through all the stuff we wanted to talk about. But as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.